感谢加扎伊总统热情友好的讲话。下面让我们热烈欢迎南部非洲代表南非共和国总统拉马福萨先生致辞。
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellency, President Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal and co-chair of the Forum on Africa Cooperation, Your Excellency, President Karzai, Chairperson of the African Union and President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Your Excellency Moussa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, and Your Excellency Secretary General Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and distinguished guests, I wish to convey the warmest greetings of the government and the people of South Africa as past co-chairperson of FOCAC, to our hosts, the government and the people of China. We extend our deep gratitude to President Xi Jinping for the wonderful manner in which we have been received here in Beijing and for the warm hospitality that has been extended to us, including a most wonderful welcome dinner with excellent performances and food that we were treated to last night. I also wish to thank President Xi and President Faye, the co-chairs of FOCAC, for extending an invitation to all of us and for convening this summit that is going to have important discussions and conclusions. Let us give them a big round of applause for that. We meet today when the world is experiencing many challenges. War and conflict continue to cause great human suffering and instability in a number of places across the world. Climate change is causing widespread devastation. The world is falling behind in its efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The global contestation for critical minerals is fueling geopolitical rivalry. These challenges affect all nations, but are more often severely felt on the African continent. Yet amid these challenges, there is hope and opportunity. 25 years ago, President Nelson Mandela delivered a lecture at Peking University in which he said, "Whenever the need or opportunity arises, the peoples of the world reach out to one another in the name of a common humanity." This common humanity is what brings African countries and China together under the banner of FOCAC. We are driven by a desire to achieve shared prosperity while recognizing our individual developmental aspirations. If we are to realize a sustainable future for our beloved continent, Africa, and China, and indeed the entire world, we must acknowledge the reality of the interdependence amongst our community of nations. If we are to build a future that is people-centered, development-oriented and inclusive, we need to work in a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. China has a long history of friendship and solidarity with the people of Africa over many centuries. And we thank China for continuing to expand and develop a spirit of cooperation and collaboration, particularly with our continent, Africa. So we say thank you, President Xi Jinping, for continuing Since this relationship was institutionalized through FOCAC in 2000, ties between China and Africa have continued to grow and to deepen and to broaden. We welcome the proposal by President Xi Jinping to elevate China's bilateral relations with African countries that are having diplomatic ties with China to the level of strategic relations. This, to us, shows the great importance that China attaches to its relationship with the African continent and with individual countries on the African continent. And for this, we thank you again. This fourth FOCAC summit reflects the cooperative, comprehensive, and intentional nature of our cooperation. This summit reflects our shared desire for modernization, development, and progress on the African continent. We believe that this shared desire is reflected in the 10 partnership actions on modernization to be taken by China and Africa as announced by President Xi Jinping. Through the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the economies of Africa are being drawn closer together. We are pursuing projects that reach across national borders. We believe that FOCAC can play an important role as Africa works to build an integrated network of linkages between countries, within regions, and across our continent. This, in many ways, speaks to how we should continue to develop as a continent that demonstrates, indeed, that we have grasped the need to further develop our continent, but to do so in partnership with a country such as China that has historically shown its total commitment to the development of Africa based on friendship. We believe that FOCAC is a valuable forum to support the implementation of the African Union's Agenda 2063. In the 10 actions that President Xi Jinping has pronounced, we find that all of them are in line with the implementation of Agenda 2063. And we thank China for focusing on Africa's development. In the name of our common humanity, we must work together to achieve the Africa that we want, and we must work together to achieve the world that we want. This is what we are here for, and that is why we're grateful that China has been able to convene together with President Faye this FOCAC summit, which will discuss the various steps that we need to take to advance our continent. And I speak in support of the conclusions that are already in draft that are going to be adopted in the declaration, supporting a one China policy and endorsing the view that the People's Republic of China is the true and only representative of the people of China. Thank you very much.
感谢拉马福萨总统热情洋溢的讲话。下面让我们热烈欢迎中部非洲代表和接任论坛非方共同主席国的刚果共和国总统萨苏先生致辞。
Monsieur le Président de la République populaire de Chine, cher ami Xi Jinping, Madame et Messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, Monsieur le Secrétaire général des Nations Unies, Monsieur le Président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, distingués invités, Mesdames, Messieurs, au titre de la sous-région Afrique centrale et en mon nom propre, c'est avec un grand honneur que je prends la parole devant l'illustre aréopage de dirigeants présents à ce forum de coopération sino-africaine. Le thème de cette rencontre nous appelle à travailler ensemble pour promouvoir la modernisation et construire une communauté partagée, Chine-Afrique de haut niveau. Depuis plus d'un demi-siècle, l'Afrique s'est placée aux côtés de la Chine, qui s'est progressivement imposée au monde par son influence diplomatique et ses avancées économiques. Félicitations à notre ami Xi Jinping pour ce résultat. Près de 25 ans après sa création, le Forum de coopération sino-africaine constitue désormais une plateforme de dialogue et de partenariat fondée sur les valeurs historiques de l'Afrique et de la Chine, proches les unes des autres dans leur similarité et la capacité d'unir les peuples. C'est en cela que le choix de la modernisation, plus qu'un simple slogan, témoigne de notre volonté commune de construire un véritable espace de prospérité et de paix au bénéfice de nos peuples respectifs dans la confiance mutuelle, le pragmatisme, le respect réciproque et la solidarité agissante au service d'une vision partagée de l'avenir. Face à un tel défi, il sied de consolider les avancées déjà réalisées afin de créer les opportunités d'un avenir meilleur pour les générations montantes et futures. De la sorte, le raffermissement de la coordination de nos actions restera le socle de notre coopération à travers l'approfondissement de la connaissance de la Chine par les élites africaines et de l'Afrique par les experts chinois. La multiplication des espaces et de points de convergence sino-africains. Le renforcement de l'amitié entre les peuples chinois et africains. La promotion active d'une coopération sino-africaine gagnant-gagnant. Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, aujourd'hui, confrontés à des chocs économiques récurrents, à des menaces sécuritaires inédites et des urgences climatiques sans précédent, le monde semble bien proche du multilatéralisme et d'une alternative ouverte sur un nouvel ordre international. Ainsi, l'Afrique et la Chine, ensemble, se retrouveront-elles en première ligne du combat pour le développement, fondé sur l'innovation technologique et la modernisation, à travers des projets concrets dans les secteurs clés tels l'énergie, la communication, les mines, l'agriculture, le transport, le numérique. C'est ici le lieu de saluer le programme en 10 points présenté par notre ami le président Xi Jinping tout à l'heure. Pour l'Afrique centrale, la Chine demeure un pays ami de tous les temps. C'est ici le lieu de réitérer notre détermination à hisser le Forum de coopération sino-africaine au rang d'arbitre de la gouvernance mondiale par, entre autres, l'intensification du commerce et des investissements en adéquation étroite avec les défis du développement du continent. Au seuil de ce mandat, et je voudrais remercier tous les collègues qui ont fait honneur à notre pays en nous désignant comme co-président du FOCAC pour les 3 prochaines années. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président Xi Jinping. Au seuil de ce mandat donc, nous formulons nos vœux de plein succès au Forum de coopération sino-africaine pour des réponses pertinentes aux attentes légitimes des peuples respectifs. Vive la coopération sino-africaine et je vous remercie.
感谢萨苏总统的精彩致辞。下面让我们热烈欢迎西部非洲代表尼日利亚联邦共和国总统提努布先生致辞。
Excellency, particularly our chief host, President Xi Jinping, from yesterday night, we had a very great dinner, good cultural entertainment, and display of diversity in excellence in learning and collaboration. Thank you very much. It is with a great joy and pleasure that I stand before you today, celebrating the remarkable partnership between Africa and China, a bond that has not only endured, but has grown stronger since its inception in the early 50s. This relationship has transcended continents, challenges, and become a true testament to the power of mutual respect and cooperation. What began as a China support for African nations' independence has evolved into a rich, multifaceted partnership spanning trade, investment, and diplomacy. Over years of our ties, we have been solidified. We share through high-level engagement, strategic agreement, and a shared vision of growth. Today, we gather to reflect on the progress we've made and chart the course for even greater achievement. Speakers, particularly our co-chair, my brother and friend, the President of Senegal, Bassirou Faye, for navigating what appeared to be complex in a very simple manner and and got us to this position. Thank you very much for your contribution. I said throughout our journey, there have been defining moments that have shaped this partnership. China has consistently demonstrated its commitment to Africa, not only through financial and developmental support, but also through cultural exchanges that bring our people closer and closer together. The establishment of the Institute and Chinese cultural centers across Africa exemplifies the depth of our cultural fusion and shared learning. A landmark of our relationship came in the year 2000 with the establishment of the FOCAC. This platform has been pivotal in strengthening our economic ties and reaffirming our commitment to mutual progress. Despite the global challenges we face, whether the economic or geographical, our partnership has stood firm, resolute, and offering a powerful example of what can be achieved through respect for sovereignty and non-interference. One of the highlights of this collaboration has been the flourishing economic partnership. Trade between Africa and China has grown exponentially, reaching an estimated $280 billion US. These impressive figures speak volumes about the strength of our economic relationship and expanding integration of our market. I say, China's Belt and Road Initiative, aligned with the Africans' own infrastructure goals under African Continental Free Trade Agreement. This offers even a greater promise. The success of FOCAC and our broader partnership emphasizes the importance, truth, that global progress is not a zero-sum game. By working together and joining hands and looking for that win-win solution, we create opportunities for sustainable development and shared prosperity. Our joint efforts reinforce the vision for a multipolar world where diverse perspectives are embraced and cooperation is key to solving global challenges. At the heart of China-African relations is a foundation built on trust, mutual respect, and the pursuit of common goals. As we look to the future, it is crucial that we maintain the momentum, peaceful dialogue, transparent business practices, diplomatic conflict resolution remain at the forefront of our efforts. These values will ensure that the bond between Africa and China continue to deepen and benefit both regions for the generations yet to come. The partnership is not only about shared history, it is driven by a bold collective vision for the future. Together, we join hands by pooling our strength and resources. We can unlock unprecedented level of growth and development for our nations. Before I close, I would like to extend once again our heartfelt appreciation to President Jinping and government of China for their steadfast commitment to the enduring partnership, the vision, the dedication that have helped shape the relationship into one of the most significant alliances of our time. Each rule is much, much better. As we move forward, let us continue to build our shared success, working hand in hand to achieve even greater heights in the years ahead. Africa, our motherland, is in need of that collaboration and the progress. Prosperity awaits today, tomorrow, and future generations that can key in today's vision. The challenge is ours. Thank you very much.
感谢提诺布总统热情友好的讲话。下面，让我们热烈欢迎东部非洲代表坦桑尼亚联合共和国总统哈桑女士致辞。
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, the President of the People's Republic of China and co-chairperson of the FOCAC, Your Excellency Bashir Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal and co-chair of the FOCAC, President Wazani, President of Mauritania and Chair of African Union, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, UN Secretary General, Honorable Antonio Guterres, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the Eastern African, I take the liberty to commend the excellent arrangement of this meeting and appreciate the excellent hospitality extended to us by our host, the government of the People's Republic of China. We feel honored and welcome. Thank you very much. We are meeting today with a lot to celebrate about our friendship and partnership that is bringing positive impact on the lives of our people. Despite the economic challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, China has remained committed to fulfill the pledges made during the 8th Ministerial Conference of FOCAC, particularly the 9 programs. This genuine commitment has been instrumental in advancing our common development goals. The impact of this collaboration is present across our economies and has been true. China has been a true partner in our fight against poverty and pursuing prosperity. China imprints are evident and vivid in infrastructure improvement, rapid industrialization, and all progress in small and medium enterprises in our countries. In recent years, we have witnessed a significant increase in Tanzania stands ready to be a demonstration plot for China-African socio-economic innovations. Excellencies, as we celebrate the milestone achievements earlier mentioned, it is important also to reflect on the way forward. President Xi Jinping told the African leaders in Durban on March 28, 2013, and I quote, "The development of China-Africa ties can only be in present continuous tense and never in the present perfect tense." Tanzania and our colleagues in the Eastern African region are heartened to find out that the FOCAC Beijing Action Plan 2025-2027 intends to respond to the pressing needs of our nation. While commending the overall progress so far achieved, we also appreciate the announcement of further areas of partnership actions on modernization and to be taken by China and African countries. These partnership actions shall underpin China-Africa to deepen cooperation in the various fields and advances modernization together. We salute a new characterization of China-African relations. Excellencies, this year's FOCAC meeting is taking place a decade after His Excellency President Xi Jinping announced China's Africa strategy in Dar es Salaam during his maiden trip to Africa in 2013. He put forward the principles of sincerity, real results, amity, and good faith as guiding principles for China's cooperation with African countries. Our presence here today reflects the solidarity and commitment to building a shared future of progress and prosperity. Let us work together towards fruitful socio-economic innovations and development for our countries. Thank you very much for listening.
感谢哈桑总统的精彩致辞。下面让我们热烈欢迎会议特邀嘉宾联合国秘书长古特雷斯先生致辞。
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, Excellence, Monsieur le Président Bassirou Diomaye Faye, distinguished heads of state and government, Monsieur le Président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I want to express my deep gratitude to the government and people of the People's Republic of China for their warm hospitality and the impeccable organization of this summit. We meet in difficult times. Geopolitical tensions are rising, conflicts are raging, and poverty and anger are unfortunately growing. The war in Ukraine is grinding on with global impacts, unimaginable death and destruction draining Gaza, and the people of Sudan are enduring untold suffering. The climate crisis keeps getting worse, and inequalities are everywhere, exacerbating divisions and polarization. The 2030 Agenda and the Paris Agreement are at risk. Meanwhile, many African countries are mired in debt and struggling to invest in sustainable development. Many have no access to effective debt relief, enjoy scarce resources, and clearly insufficient concessional funding to respond to the basic needs of their population and protect them from the ravages of a climate crisis they did nothing to create. This situation is unsustainable and a recipe for social unrest. That is why we propose deep reforms in the outdated, ineffective, and unfair international financial system, and an SDG stimulus to provide developing countries with the liquidity they need while seeking medium and long-term solutions. Solutions such as increasing the lending capacity of multilateral development banks and enabling them to massively scale up affordable financing for development in Africa. Expanding contingency financing through the rechanneling of special drawing rights that until now have essentially benefited rich countries and not those that need them the most. And promoting an effective transformation of the G20 framework to guarantee real long-term debt restructuring that puts people at the center. The support of China and Africa for these reforms is essential. Excellencies, in this context, South-South cooperation is essential to build capacities and drive progress on shared development goals, while in no way reducing the responsibilities of the global North. And China's partnership with the African continent is the main pillar of South-South cooperation. Your joint efforts, based on the United Nations Charter, can create a new momentum for African development. China is already Africa's long-standing and largest trading partner. And we know that in Africa, as elsewhere, investments are game-changing when they respect national ownership, are financially sustainable, climate-sensitive, and consistent with human rights. And that is why I underline President Xi's decision to launch the Global Development Initiative in a way that is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as the focus on green development and promoting integrity-based cooperation, as outlined in President Xi's remarks at last year's Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation that I had the honor to attend. And I would like to highlight, as many others have done today, the partnership actions on modernization that were announced by President Xi. China's remarkable record of development, including on eradicating poverty, provides a wealth of experience and expertise. And the China-Africa partnership can drive the renewable energy revolution. It can be a catalyst for key transitions on food systems and digital connectivity, and as home to some of the world's most dynamic economies, Africa can maximize the potential of China's support in areas from trade to data management, finance and technology. Excellencies, around the world, multilateralism faces headwinds and multilateral institutions are falling behind. It's time to correct some historic injustices. It is outrageous, for example, that the continent of Africa has still no permanent seat on the Security Council. This month's Summit of the Future in New York will be a pivotal opportunity for renewal and reform anchored in solidarity and justice. And we have proposed a focus on prevention and joint approaches to new and emerging threats to global security, building on your recent success. After many years of effort, there is now an authorization for UN-assessed contributions for African Union-led peace operations, which is a remarkable development achieved in the Security Council recently. We are pushing for reforms so that the international financial architecture and the financial institutions reflect today's world and not the world after the Second World War, and respond to today's challenges, particularly those challenges faced by developing countries, namely in Africa. Your full engagement will be critical to finding sustainable solutions. And you can count on the full engagement of the United Nations in support of a strong China-Africa partnership towards our shared goal of peace, sustainable development and human rights in a healthy planet, and I thank you.
感谢古特雷斯秘书长的重要的讲话。下面让我们热烈欢迎非洲联盟委员会主席法基先生致辞。
Excellences, Monsieur Xi Jinping, Président de la République populaire de Chine, Excellences, Monsieur Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Président de la République du Sénégal, co-président du FOCAC, Excellences, Monsieur Mohamed Ould-Cheikh Al-Ghazouani, Président de la République islamique de Mauritanie, Président en exercice de l'Union africaine, Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs les chefs d'État, du gouvernement et des délégations, M. Antonio Guterres, secrétaire général des Nations Unies, de rendre hommage à son Excellence Xi Jinping, président de la République populaire de Chine, pour les efforts apportés au renforcement du partenariat Chine-Afrique dans le cadre du FOCAC. Je lui exprime également, au nom de la Commission de l'Union africaine et à mon nom propre, ainsi qu'au gouvernement et au peuple chinois, mes vifs remerciements pour l'accueil chaleureux et les conditions d'organisation de notre forum, dont le thème de sa présente session est unir nos efforts pour faire avancer la modernisation et bâtir une communauté Chine-Afrique de haut niveau avec un avenir commun. Depuis son réveil annonciateur des indépendances nationales, l'Afrique mobilise ses énergies pour réaliser son unité afin d'être à même d'affronter les défis de son développement et de sa liberté. Elle s'est mesurée l'importance pour chaque nation de son unité. Aussi n'a-t-elle jamais hésité à soutenir le principe d'une seule Chine et sa concrétisation à travers un processus politique pacifique.